Hi, everyone, and welcome in to GC Live here on Gamecock Central. Kendall Smith and Jack Veltri joining you here, and we hope that you're all having a wonderful Wednesday so far. I am just smiling from ear to ear. If you haven't seen the news, everybody, hold on, drum roll, please. Jack Veltri is engaged, everyone. He is engaged to his lovely now fiance, Caroline. Congratulations, Jack and Caroline. I'm so excited to hear all about this. And yes, you're going to hear about it because Jack and I, though we have texted and you texted me as soon as you asked, and we did a little back and forth there. We haven't gone into like the full story. So we are going to talk about this because this is a life altering event and it's very exciting and it's amazing and awesome. And so we're going to talk about it today on the show. But Jack, congratulations. I am so excited for you. And I'm really, really happy. I love this.
Yeah, it's thank you first off, and it's good to be back on here on GC Live. And yeah, it's exciting. It's crazy that it's happening, and it's just the beginning of so much to come. It's going to be a lot of planning and everything, and I don't know exactly what all it entails, but I'm looking forward to finding out and going through the whole process. So yeah, it's awesome. It's wonderful.
So I have to know what happened. Like, okay, so
Yes.
Jack told me, what do you think? 4, 5, 6 weeks ago?
Yeah.
We're
I
proposing.
told you a few weeks ago,
Mhm.
and for context, this has been in the works for, gosh, probably since the end of last year, I would
He
say.
didn't just decide that he was going to do this.
No. I mean, most of you guys that are watching, I'm sure, are married and understand that this does not happen overnight. Like, you gotta go get the first off. You gotta think about, like, okay, like, where am I gonna get the ring? You gotta go ring shopping. You gotta go out with your fiance to be and go get the ring sized and everything. Like, there's so much I learned through this entire process that, yes, if anyone needs help with this moving forward that is planning to get proposed, I am now an expert in this. So it's I can pass off my wisdom. So Kendall, if you're ever, if you're whoever your fiance to be in the future needs help, I will I will be happy to assist. But yeah, so it's exciting. No, I did not lose the ring. I actually do have a funny story before we get into the actual story. I did. It was last Saturday. It was 2 Saturdays ago, the day before Easter. I just got back home to Fort Mill for the holiday, and I was showing my sister the ring, and I didn't like. I got the ring out of the box, and I opened the box the wrong way somehow, and it broke. So I needed to go
The
to.
ring broke?
No. The box broke.
Oh. I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
no. The box broke. It's very stupid how it happened because I like did not look down at the box, and it's on hinges, so I just opened it the completely wrong way, like an absolute idiot. And so I texted the lady who sold me the ring, that works at Diamonds Direct. Shout out Nancy, and she was very good about being like, okay, like, can I? I was like, can I come in on Monday morning to come get the box because I'm supposed to be proposing like 4 days later. And so I went up to South Park in Charlotte on Monday,
I could
and
have totally got it for you. I literally like
oh,
live right in that neck of the woods.
oh yeah. So I went and got the box. I was given two boxes, so I have a spare sitting in my book bag right now that's empty. But man, it was crazy. So we went to the beach, got proposed at Clearwater Beach out in Tampa. We got there last Tuesday, and it was a long drive. And then Wednesday was the big day. Yeah, so I proposed out in Clearwater Beach, out in Tampa, Florida. And when last Wednesday, so a week ago today, we got engaged. And man, I'll tell you, it was a long freaking day. Like, we did not do it until I want to say 7 p.m. on that Wednesday. So it was like a long day. We were at the pool. We went back to the hotel room. Caroline napped for a few hours. Of course, being who I am, I could not nap. I could just with all this pressure and just everything, so a million different thoughts going through my mind, I really could not. The last thing I could do was sleep. So what I did was I needed to get the ring out of my book bag because that's where it was sitting. So as Caroline was napping, I carefully walked over to my bag in the hotel room. I was really slow and precise about unzipping the bag so it wouldn't be too loud that Caroline wouldn't accidentally roll over and wake up. And so I got the ring out. I put it in the bottom of my suitcase so that way she wouldn't see it. And then a few hours later, when we were getting ready, I took out the ring and the box and put it in my front pocket of my pants, and hopefully she wouldn't see it. So I kept my hands kind of tucked in my pocket the rest of the afternoon there. And then we went up to the rooftop of our hotel. There's a bar up there. Went to go get a drink, and the wind's blowing like crazy and everything. And for also, I know I'm jumping all over the place. I'm almost done here. For context, Caroline knew we were going to get photos at the beach. We had already discussed that earlier in the day. Like, yeah, let's just go get some photos at the beach before we head to dinner. So we went up to the rooftop bar, got a drink. Caroline's like, do we really need to get a drink? And I'm like, yeah, I could use one. So went up there. The wind's blowing like crazy. Caroline's getting frustrated about her hair is blowing everywhere. So a sign of things to come, of course. We go to the beach, and this is another interesting point. We were staying about a 2-minute walk away from the beach. But we ended up going to a beach that was probably about 15 minutes away. That was where I was planning to do the whole engagement and everything. And we drove over there, and Caroline's wondering, like, why are we going here? I'm like, it'll be a little bit quieter. It won't be as crazy, probably. We'll see. I found it on TikTok earlier in the day when, in actuality, I was down at that beach probably about a month ago when I was on my 2,000-mile trek from Nashville to Gainesville to Florida, everything. We get to the beach. We have somebody, like a random person that was just sitting on the beach taking some pictures for us. And then a few minutes later, I dropped everything, had sandals in hand, had her sandals in hand. I dropped everything. And she's probably like, WTF, what is going on right now? And stuff just started coming out of my mouth. I genuinely really don't remember what I said. I talked to Wes about this multiple times beforehand because he was kind of helping me out through this whole process a little bit of like what to do. He's like, you're going to black out. And I'm like, all right. I ended up blacking out to some degree. I really don't recall what I said. The only thing I do remember is that I said her name, which is good, obviously, but I said Caroline Skeen. I meant to say I meant to say her full name, which I ended up saying afterwards. I corrected myself in the moment. So I said her full name, got everything out, and then I got down on a knee and I held the ring up, and she said yes, and the rest is history. And yeah, I mean, we have some of the pictures. Of course, the main one is on Twitter. Hopefully my form looked good. I've gotten a lot of compliments about that. But yeah, no, it was great. It was wonderful.
What did I tell you before you did it? You texted me. You said you were like so nervous or something.
Oh, I was so I texted you that I was so excited, but I was also so nervous and so anxious. Like seriously, I told Caroline this directly afterwards. Like, it was literally like so much weight had just been lifted off my shoulders. Like it, and I don't like keeping things like that. That's the thing about us, and honestly, relationships in general. You cannot keep things from your significant other. You got to be 100% honest and forthcoming, and having to keep this secret about being engaged or getting engaged for the past like 4 months, or planning to propose to her, is what I meant to say. It really was tough. I mean, I almost blew it a few times, but keeping that a secret for as long as I did, I mean, there will be nothing greater that I do in my life than planning this whole thing out. And wow, it was wonderful. It was.
That is awesome, Jack. I love it. I said stay down on the knee longer than you think.
Which you were right about. We had the photographer there and everything, ready to go.
Don't be too quick. And then I said, just speak from your heart and you'll be fine. Yeah. I said that with all of my experience of getting engaged. I kid. But Jack, seriously, congratulations. Congrats to Caroline as well. So happy for you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad we can do some wedding updates here on the show.
Oh yeah. Like we're going
In
to.
the fall.
Yeah. What's up? Yeah. Not getting married in the fall. That's automatically a no go. We actually are going to her church next week. I'm going back home for a day or two because I have a dentist appointment. But then I was like, let's go start this process. So we're going to her church next Tuesday, and we're going to hopefully start knocking down a date. And we're looking at potentially next summer. So it's coming fast. There's a lot of planning to come. I've already been given some advice from people who are married, like just the last thing you say to her at this point is I don't know. Like I'm like give your input when needed on the whole
don't
thing.
do that.
Yeah.
Do not say I don't know. Like give an opinion, be
No.
involved, be invested.
I want to be involved though, but I want her, obviously I want her to take charge of the planning at this point. But I'm happy to give my input. My job is done. I got the hard part out of the way of planning everything out the last few months. Now she gets to have the fun part of doing everything I got to do, except on a greater level. But I'll be very much involved for sure. No doubt about it.
So glad that I don't ever have to worry about like not getting engaged, but like proposing to someone. Like I would be so stressed. Oh my God. I did not do that. Like legitimately don't envy it. Like
it's insane. It's an insane amount of stress you feel doing it. It is because she's going to say yes. That's the thing. Like there was never any doubt that she was going to say yes. She honestly hinted at it for the longest time that she wanted to get engaged. But it's keeping everything under wraps because there's so many moving parts. As some of you guys know that have gotten engaged, it's just the planning out process is so crazy. Like you have to get the ring, you gotta get it sized correctly. You got to wait for it to come in. I think you just got to keep it under wraps. And you got to hope that nobody that you tell is going to mention it. Like it's just a lot, but it was wonderful. I'm glad it all worked out. And And
a few weeks ago on the show, someone was asking Jack about getting married. And Jack and I, obviously Jack knew, but I knew at the time too, like he was about to propose in a couple weeks. And we had to like really play that off. So we kind of ate on the acting there. But yeah, that is.
And this comment here, it's not difficult. It's just, it's pretty simple. All you gotta do is you gotta just be ready to spend money on a ring, and then you gotta get down on a knee.
And a photographer and the location.
Oh gosh, I mean, here's the other part of all this. It was I briefly mentioned the going down to Florida about a month before, which I did. So during that trip, when I went to the SEC men's basketball tournament, I went to baseball in Gainesville. I made a pit stop afterwards to go down to Caroline. Didn't know this at the time, but I was down in Orlando, and I think it was like on that Monday after the baseball series against Florida. I drove 2 hours out to Clearwater to A, figure out where the heck I'm doing this proposal, and B, meeting with the photographer. So again, there was just so much planning that went into this, and it required me to turn off my location on my phone, which ended up being I had no other choice, though. I had no other choice. And if Caroline actually had off of work that day, so if she was at work, she would have never known. But because she was at work, or wasn't at work, she calls me while I'm literally standing on the beach, like, "Hey, why is your location off on your phone?" And meanwhile, it's the wind is blowing at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'm hoping she doesn't know that I'm at the beach trying to figure things out. And obviously, I'm not out there doing anything that is super bad that I have to keep such a secret. But I'm just like, I know it's this crazy, crazy story. But all I said to her was like, without trying to give it away, I'm just like, you I promise I'm not doing anything bad. You just don't need to know right now. I think that's what I said. But it's this whole elaborate plan. It's just, and yeah, you're right. Like I do have to lie sometimes to keep the secret, but that's the, it's not fun. It's not fun having to keep the secret. It's fun when it's all done, obviously, and the stress is off your shoulders. But but seriously, in all seriousness, it is wonderful to finally be engaged, and I'm really looking forward to everything moving forward. I'm looking forward to the wedding, hopefully next year when we get that figured out, and it'll be wonderful. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yay, I loved that. That story time was amazing, and I've been waiting for this show to.
Of course, it's our show. We're going to talk about it as long as we need to. Kendall, do you have any more questions? Feel free to get them in.
I will.
If you guys have any questions in the comments on how this is, how it's going, I'm always happy to talk about it.
It is a life-altering decision, and we are going to talk about it because we can. So exactly. You don't get okay. Sorry. I was so sassy. I know that you guys are all being amazing.
I love it. I love it.
There's so many of you that are saying congratulations, and we appreciate that.
Yes.
But yeah, it's now a lifestyle show. Shane Beamer, though, did.
Yes.
He said, "Okay, Jack, congrats. I was ticked off you weren't at the press conference on Tuesday, but it appears you had a solid reason with the fist bump and then the church."
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
Yeah, he's the best. He's really great at that stuff. Like just
he's awesome.
In touch with people's lives that are covering South Carolina and just kind of knowing everything that's going on with them. He's really, really good about that, which is why it's fun to cover him. So. Yes, with that being said, everyone, we will talk about football now, and it is GC Live presented by our great friend Clint Hammond. So, Jack, you're getting married. The house is going to be coming next, and I know you're going to go to Clint to help you out.
With this salary and her as a teacher, I don't know about that yet, but eventually we will get a house eventually. Renting, maybe right now. And maybe you can go to Clint for that right now as well. If you are seriously in the market to buy a home, ready to take that next step and just continue that wonderful life that you have with your significant other, or whoever it may be, go to Clint Hammond of CMG Home Loans. The number to call is 803-422-6797. NMLS number for him is 71597. Or go to clinthammond.com for more info. And again, Clint is been in the mortgage industry for over 20 years now. He is a lifelong Gamecock fan and also a longtime sponsor of Gamecock Central and GC Live. He's been the presenting show sponsor of GC Live for, as long as Kendall and I have been at GC. So he's been here for quite a while, and we always appreciate Clint and all the good work that he does. So get in touch with him. All the info for him is listed above us here on screen. So thank you, Clint.
Thank you, Clint. All right, Jack. Yeah, you do have to ask, because remember when Alyssa Lang asked Mike Leach, rest in peace, about getting married and his advice to her because she was about to get married or she had just gotten engaged or something along those lines. I think you should ask Shane, because he's obviously had a great relationship with his wife, Emily, and he's been able to watch a great relationship with his parents. So I think you should ask him. Like, what is your advice to me? I'm getting married. Go out there and maybe we'll get because the Mike Leach response to that question from Alyssa was like off the charts. Of course, it was Mike Leach, so he always gave unreal responses, but I'll never forget that. He was really good in that one.
Yeah, and it's funny. We actually did talk to Shane the other day, which is what we're going to get into all of everything from practice and whatnot, and just our thoughts on the spring here in a minute. But yeah, we did talk to Shane the other day, and of course he did say congratulations again. He asked how it all went down and whatnot, so I mentioned it to him briefly before the press conference began. I actually thought about maybe asking him that, but I kind of wanted to just keep it to football, and so I asked him. My first question was about Matt Fuller winning Offensive Player of the Spring, so that was definitely not a marriage question, but maybe sometime if I ever get we ever get a
TikTok one time.
What's up?
I asked him a question about TikTok one time.
What? Why? What is the context?
Because he did some trend, and I'm like, do you even know what that is? He was like, no.
Oh my God.
It was really funny. I'm like, there's no way he knows.
Was it in a press conference setting, or was it just like?
I was in a press conference setting.
At least you're one of his favorites, though. So
I felt like I could ask it and it was going to get good reaction, and it did. He was like, "Did I do good?" I was like, "Yeah, you did good." Like, for not knowing the trend, it was really good. Um,
oh
but
man.
anyways, yeah, Shane did talk yesterday. He talked a lot about spring. Spring practice is over now. Obviously, we had the awards come out, so there's just a lot to go over. And from your end, Jack, since you were there, what was it about what Shane said that stood out to you the most?
Yeah, just an overall recap of how things have gone now that spring practice is over. He felt like they accomplished a lot, got a lot of good things done, mainly in installing the new offense with Kendall Briles. He felt like that went well, getting the coaches, because there's so many new assistant coaches on staff, getting those coaches acclimated to Carolina and how practice works here was another good thing that they hit on. They obviously, we've talked about this before, Kendall. They did change up the practice structure a little bit to kind of focus more on development and technique and everything in individual works. They did a lot of that, and that seemingly went well. And that might be something that they carry over here into fall camp here in a few months. One interesting thing he did kind of make note of unpromptly was that there's still an ongoing battle at the place kicker position. So we've known obviously the last few years that South Carolina's kind of waited till down to the wire to make a decision on who its starting kicker is going to be. And a lot of that just has to do with because there hasn't been a guy that's like clearly stood out. It feels like it's a position that has been a problem over the years. And at this point, I don't know if I'd still say it's a problem. Again, we didn't really get to see these guys kick at all when we were out there at spring practice for the few periods that we were every week. But from what Shane said, it kind of just seems like it's something to keep an eye on moving forward here. And he was even asked later in the press conference, like, would you guys potentially pursue another kicker here this summer? And he didn't rule it out, but he said probably not at this point. But that always could change. So that's probably the main thing I would say to keep an eye on. They're going through exit meetings right now, so that will continue here the rest of this week. Then next week, they've got 2 weeks of class left, and then they'll get going on summer workouts here the Monday after Memorial Day. So that will be end of the month in May. And question here kind of going along with what I'm saying here. The new rugby transfer, Neff Jiwa, I think is how you pronounce his name. Is he going to play this year, or will he sit and learn early? Well, not to not answer the question here. I'll answer that in a second. To kind of go off that with what Shane was saying, he does expect Neff to be here when things get rolling, as well as pretty much everyone that's joining the team this summer. They should hopefully be here, with the exception of maybe a few guys. But to kind of answer this question here, I don't know, honestly, if Neff is going to play. But I'd probably lean towards maybe he'll sit and learn a little bit, since this is his first year of actually playing football. So,
All right, let's get into some of these player awards. I want to start off with the offensive and defensive players of the spring, respectively. So you mentioned it. Matt Fuller won the offensive player of the spring for South Carolina. On the defense, it was Peyton Williams. What did you make of those two, Jack?
we heard a lot about Matt Fuller throughout the spring, really doing well. And, I like I mentioned before, I did ask Shane about that yesterday when we met with him in media availability. And the way everyone felt was that Matt had the best spring, and that it was a pretty like overwhelmingly yes on that. Because over the years, we've seen quarterbacks like Spencer Rattler and Lenore Sellers earn this Offensive Player of the Spring award. But they ended up going with a running back for this award. And I think it's big that it's Matt Fuller, because we saw what he could do last year briefly. We saw some flashes of him really doing some good things. That long touchdown run against LSU was a real standout for sure. So yeah, it's good to see that that's carrying over, especially in our running back room that is pretty new with a lot of different faces. Obviously, Fuller and Jawarn Howell are back, but there's so many other guys that are new to that room. So it's a position that needs to see big improvement this upcoming season, and I think Matt can definitely lead the charge in that way. As far as defensive player of the spring goes, Peyton Williams, I feel like, has been a nice contributor over the last few years. I don't know what to expect from him this year. I think he had an okay year last year. I thought maybe it would have been a little bit better for him last season. But he was in a crowded room at DB and at safety. So I think now that like Jalen Kilgore's gone, some of those other guys that have really shined over the last few years since Peyton's been there, I feel like this is Peyton's year to kind of go out here and really put it all together and continue on the trend of what Torian Gray has been able to do from a development standpoint. But yeah, it's not a surprise that he is the defensive player of the spring. He's definitely had a good spring for sure by all accounts, and it's also good again to see Matt Fuller earning that honor as offensive player of the spring.
I think it's good to see that. I think the one that stands out to me the most, though, is the most improved award. Like, that's obviously something that you want to, I mean, if you're a South Carolina fan or if you're, part of the team or whatever it is, like, that this time is spent trying to get better. That's what spring is all about. It's the time where you can kind of work out a lot of those kinks, summer too, but like you're getting closer to the season, then this is really your time. So offensively, it was Mike Tyler who earned the award for South Carolina, which I think is great because he's another name. And I feel like Wes brings him up all the time, that there's a lot of buzz around him. And so to hear that he's being recognized by the coaching staff in this way is super encouraging.
Yeah, for sure. So he was the offensive most improved player. You had defense, Anthony Addison, and then special teams, AJ Holloway. The thing that stands out here, Kendall, is that all three of these guys are returning sophomores on the team. So all of them were freshmen here, part of that class last year. Really didn't get to make a substantial impact by any means. Maybe played a little bit sparingly, but didn't really have much of a role last year, any of these guys. And so I think it's encouraging to see that, maybe you can go with some veterans that, could be most improved, whatever. But I think it's good to see that three guys that were pretty big pieces of your freshman class who didn't get to make a big impact last year were the most improved players. And what does that exactly mean heading into this season? I don't know. We'll find out in terms of, because we get a good question here from Big Red who asks, does award winners to end spring practice give any idea on the depth chart, or is that a game-by-game decision? I think it's a good sign, but I don't think it tells us these guys are going to play right away. Like, for instance, Landon Duckworth won the Spirit Award, and Shane spoke very highly of him and all the good he's done this spring. Doesn't mean he's playing, though, this year because he's sitting behind Lenore Sellers on the depth chart. So I think it's just a nice way to reward the guys for their work that they did during the spring. But I don't think by any means it automatically means this guy's going to play right away or he's going to start the season. It's definitely something to keep in the back of your mind as you're looking towards the season of how's the depth chart going to shake out? But I don't think it necessarily guarantees that any of those guys are going to start right away. Some of them for sure will, but I don't think it necessarily means this guy, he was most improved, so he's automatically going to be a starter this season.
Yeah, I think that it is interesting. When you look at it from the standpoint of the Spirit Award. And for those, Jack, by the way, who aren't really sure what that means, Shane Beamer actually was talking about it when he was talking to you guys. So what does it entail? What do you have to do to win this?
So I was kind of wondering the same thing, and I'm glad it was asked yesterday to Shane. So the way he explained it, and I'm reading this directly off the quote here, so bear with me. Spirit, the way we explained it to the team, it's the guys that really kind of approach practice each and every day with the right mindset of how they want to do things and what they want to be about. So, for instance, Landon Duckworth won it for the offense. So Landon is just a guy that he just loves to play the game of football. And I don't know if Kendall has talked to you guys about it, but we have a camera on the helmets of the quarterbacks during practice where he can see what they're looking at, but it also picks up audio. And it's every big play that we had on offense, it seems like this spring. Even if Landon wasn't in the game, you heard him on audio. Lenore throws a touchdown pass, you hear Landon. Matt Fuller has a long run. Here comes Landon getting in, even though he's not on the field, running out on the field and getting in the face of Lenore's and talking trash on the camera to somebody on defense. So it really is what it sounds like. It's the spirit and the competitive nature and the energy that you play with that is brought out. Because at first I kind of thought maybe this is some leadership type of award, but it kind of sounds like maybe it does entail that, but it also entails literally what it sounds like playing with energy and having that competitive spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great because, that's what you want. It's what South Carolina just harps on with this program is having teammates that are supportive. It's something that Shane Beamer has really, really insisted on since he has become the head coach at South Carolina. So there's definitely more to get into here. I'm kind of looking at the full transcript right now. Let's talk about Dylan Stewart because this was a big topic of conversation yesterday. And he's obviously dealing with an injury. And, you understand South Carolina is going to keep it a little closer to the chest. They're not going to tell you everything. But we're just trying to figure out exactly what's going on here, Jack. So where do you think this is in terms of his injury without trying to speculate too much, knowing what we know?
Yeah, I'll kind of just go off of what Shane gave us yesterday as the latest. So he didn't practice at all this spring, which is worth noting, and I don't think it was really expected that he was going to, just because he was coming off the back injury from last season that really affected him. It seemed, even though he played a lot, and it seems like it's still something that he's recovering from. So we heard Shane talk about it a few weeks ago. It's kind of the same message right now, is that as far as where things stand moving forward, he needs to continue to rest. So that's really the plan moving forward. He was actually out on the field doing some things yesterday morning while Shane was walking on the field talking with him and Derek Moore. So that's a good sign. But right now, he needs to just continue to rest. And then when they come back at the end of May to start summer workouts, maybe by then he'll be putting it. Basically, the way Shane put it is that he'll put himself in a position to have the 2026 season that he and the staff and the team wants him to have. And Shane was even asked later in the press conference, like, could surgery be an option for Stewart? Because, again, it's not really clear. We know it's the back injury, but it's not really clear, like, from what Shane's been saying, how serious this thing is. Like, is it something that actually does require surgery? Or is it something that is going to affect him all year? Like, does he kind of just have to play through it at this point? We really don't know for certain what the answer is on that. All Shane really said yesterday was, quote, we always look at all options. Those things were discussed going back to last season and in January. Feel like Dylan and our medical team, we're where we need to be, and he's where he needs to be. We're on the home stretch of being able to get well, get healthy, and be the best version of him as a player that he's been in college going forward to 26. So it sounds like they're not going to need surgery with him. But again, crazy things happen. We don't know for sure one way or the other. So I'm not going to speculate on that. I'm just reading off what exactly Shane said. So we'll see. But yeah, I understand the pessimistic nature of like feeling like, yeah, he's not going to play this year or whatever. But we really don't know for sure right now. So
yeah, we know this was not good at all. Kari's Peak dealing with an injury too because of what happened during a basketball tournament. We've talked about this time in, time out, again and again and again. This is something closer to the start of the season. They're expecting him to be ready to go. Now, will he play the first game of the year? To be determined. We don't know, but this is a situation where it looks like it's going to be more clear come this season, August.
Yeah, I don't think you really need him out there if you need him out there for week 1 against Kent State, that's a big problem. If you need him out there for Towson the week afterwards, I don't know, man. Yeah, hopefully you just have him back by Mississippi State. Just let him get all the rest and recovery that he needs to do. And then hopefully he's ready to go by the start of the season, like Shane has said. So that was one thing that I think, that nobody asked yesterday, surprisingly. We will get to talk to Shane eventually at those. I know it's not called the Welcome Home Tour anymore, but, the little new, it's essentially the same concept of going around the state of South Carolina, meeting with fans and whatnot. I'm sure we'll get to talk with Shane at those events, and we'll get more of an update on Peak by then. But yeah, I think it's status quo for right now of like, yeah, he'll be ready for the start of the season and go from there.
Well, Jack, we talked about you getting a house and maybe now a car because you're engaged. So you might as well just make all the big life decisions. And I know if you get a car, you're heading to our friends at Ferry Chevrolet, obviously. Why wouldn't you?
Exactly. You're totally right. I do have a card, but hey, if there's any South Carolina fans out there who are interested in a new or used vehicle, make sure you check out our friends over at Ferry Chevrolet, located in Orangeburg, South Carolina. They are led by a fourth generation dealer in Joseph Ferry. The family owned business over at Ferry Chevrolet has been serving the community since 1926. It is conveniently located just off of I-26 between Columbia and Charleston. The folks over at Ferry Chevrolet are local, trustworthy, and always transparent. The business began in St. Matthews and was built on honesty, integrity, and a handshake, and they still operate with those same principles to this very day. So head on over to ferrychevrolet.com today. Again, that is ferrychevrolet.com to check out their inventory and to get in touch.
Wes and I were just having a similar conversation last week, Jack, just about what stood out to them at spring. I literally was about to say spring training. Spring practice, spring training. Sorry. I'm like so locked on baseball all the time. That's all I think about 24/7, baseball and hockey. Spring practice, like what stood out. And it is difficult because there's not a ton that you get to see. Like you're not really seeing like true best on best at these. You're kind of just getting more of a look at the team, the vibes. I think it's, I mean, you're not going to be able to like learn a whole lot, but you still get to see some things. And I think the biggest thing is like seeing some of the newer guys and just seeing how they're acclimating, how they look out there, just kind of noticing what South Carolina is prioritizing at the top of practice. I think that's important. So what stood out to you, Jack, just about what you saw overall at spring practice?
This comment below us kind of sums it up right here. Like you cannot draw any conclusions from spring practice. And I kind of agree. Like I'm not going to pretend to act like I know that like, oh my gosh, like, you know, like they were doing this, like, you know, like all these different things about how spring practice was going. Like we saw what we saw and it was a lot of individual work. And that was really that. We did not get to see 11 on 11 or 7 on 7. We kind of just saw literally what I just said, just individual work. And I'm not going to make assumptions about like, this guy is far and away going to be on the top of the depth chart because he was, you know, doing well with some pad level work or something, right? Like I'm not going to draw those types of conclusions. What I can say though, is kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier. I feel like this time was really good for these new coaches to get acclimated. I think I saw a lot of good from what the coaches, especially the new ones like Stan Drayton and Randy Clements, some of the drill work they were doing. It seemed like they're just very involved and excited about being here. Like those are the types of conclusions I can draw. I can't tell you right now what the starting offensive line is going to look like, but I can tell you that I feel like just from what I saw, feels like this team is in a good spot right now from the standpoint of we've heard Lenore Sellers has been doing well. Matt Fuller, obviously. Some of these other guys, Mazio Bennett is having, I think Mike Furry said a few weeks ago that Mazio was having like one of the best springs, which is a really good sign for a guy that, in all honesty, really didn't have a good season last year. And it was a bit of a disappointment because he had such a good freshman year and then really didn't get that same type of opportunity last year. So you're hoping a guy like him can bounce back. But really beyond that, like we're not going to know the starting lineups right now. Like we'll know Lenore's is going to be at quarterback, obviously. But, you know, I think we saw some good out on the field from the time we were out there.
Yeah, and it's good to just, you know, be able to see everyone. And like I said, the vibes, and you have a lot of new faces this year with this program, a lot of new coaches. You're installing new offense, which will be interesting to see. So I can't wait. I don't know. How many days away are we from the season? It's only
Let's see, September 5th. How many days? I'll pull it up right now. We're probably about, I would guess, 143 days away. So we have a little while to go until we're there. So
143 days, and Jack will be watching the Yankees during that time. Correct, Jack?
Oh, dear Lord, they have been bad this year so far. I don't get it. I saw that, what's that really tall guy's name? He's like 6'10".
Noah Schultz.
Yeah, I just saw he got called up. So I read a story about him the other day. And I remember, because I keep up with the Knights and what you're doing there. I saw, like, what was it? Like, they got, like, a box for you to, like, stand on or something.
Yes, they did.
I always laugh so hard at whenever I see you do these post-game interviews, Kendall, on the Knights social media. It's so funny seeing these really tall guys just stand next to you and tower over you. And
The worst part is that, like, hold on, let me show y'all, because this is actually funny. So the worst part of it is that I will still stand on a box, not for most post-game interviews because I just don't have time, but if I'm doing a pre-game interview, this is Noah Schultz who got called up.
And I don't even think that does it justice. Like, it's an insane height difference. Again, that's you standing on a box there.
Yeah, that's me standing on a box. Here's another one. 6'5", so that one makes me look a little bit.
Do you have a picture of you standing next to one of the guys when you're not standing on a box, though?
This guy just got called up today. Sam Antonacci, shout out. No box.
Does he have the espresso machine yet?
They might have to get it in Chicago because he just got called up today. So we've had a lot of call-ups this season, and Noah made his debut yesterday. That's the best part of my job, is just having the chance to watch these guys realize their dreams, and I love it. It is so fun. So Noah's the number 2 prospect in the White Sox organization, so he was like a big-time deal to obviously call up. And then Sam is the number 9 prospect, and he was great in the World Baseball Classic. He hit a home run off of Team USA. He was on Team Italy. So we've had a lot of really great guys down here this year. Not for long. It's only been a few weeks. And we still have some more. We still have some very highly rated prospects in the organization. So yeah, it's awesome. And I was really excited for Noah, but I am 5'2". So Noah's 6'10". I'm 5'2". If I wear heels, I use about 3-inch heels, so that'll make me 5'5". I have a box that's about 4 inches, so it made me about 5'9". So I was still about a foot and an inch shorter than Noah with all of the help. So then someone sent me a box that actually was like a foot tall. So that would have made me like 6 foot something.
My God. That is absolute gold.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So yeah, that's been life down here. It's been busy and crazy. And yeah, that's why I almost said spring training, because I'm just like fully wrapped up in baseball. But the NHL playoffs are about to start, which I'm very excited about. And
oh, God.
It looks like it might be the Hurricanes' year, Jack.
Oh, my God. And
it really does. Like, it is theirs. Well, I'm going to say if they don't make it to the Stanley Cup final, that's a huge disappointment for them. They should go. No doubt. I'm not saying they're going to win the Stanley Cup, but they should make it to the final.
If they don't make it to the Stanley Cup finals this year, it's just not going to happen. Now, fortunately for you, I actually have no choice but to root for the Canes this postseason, because Caroline is a massive Hurricanes fan. For whatever reason, she does not really watch many sports, but the only sport she'll actually be invested in is hockey. So we are going to be rooting hard for the Canes, and it breaks my heart as an Islanders fan. But, honestly, the Canes are kind of the Islanders' daddy at this point, so just can't beat them.
They beat them last night, didn't they? 2-1.
I don't even want to talk about it. I'm just glad the season's over now.
I like the Islanders. I like Matthew Schaefer. I say that every week on the podcast.
He's great.
But my favorite thing ever right now is the Buffalo Sabres pulling up the receipts of everyone who said they were not going to make it in the playoffs. And Ryan Whitney, who's on Spit and Chicklets on Barstool, said there's a 0.000% chance that Buffalo makes the playoffs or something crazy. And they got it put up on a billboard. It wasn't AI. It's real. There is a billboard. I'm 99% sure there is a billboard of Ryan Whitney being quoted saying that in Buffalo. That's why Sabres fans are hilarious. I'm so glad that they made it. I think that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I think I still feel like, I don't know how they're going to do, but I do definitely feel like this is the Canes' year to make the cup. I don't know if they're going to win the thing, but I definitely feel like it.
The Western side is so good, and Colorado is so good. I mean, Minnesota is good. There's just the West is a whole other region. So I don't know. I just can't even root against, or not even root against, but I can't even pick against Colorado most of the time. I mean, how can you when you have Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar, and those are just your stars. But even besides them, an entire roster of stars. It's just for the Canes. I think the thing is someone needs to be that superstar this offseason.
Yeah.
And I've said this about the Canes for so long. They have a really, really good team. Sebastian Aho is great.
Yeah.
Zach Jarvis is great.
Oh, yeah.
A team of great players, but who is going to be your superstar? You need someone to be your star in the postseason. And I think that once someone steps up into that role, they'll be difficult to beat. And shout out Bussy. That's so sick. He was supposed to be on the Checkers this year. Like, legit was supposed to be a Charlotte Checker. And now look at him. Like, what?
Wait, hold on. How did you pronounce his name?
Bussy.
Bussy. Okay.
Brandon Bussy. That's how you say it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying it right. Because Caroline, for the longest time, has always pronounced his name Brandon Bussy. And I'm like, that's not correct. That's not right. That's not how you pronounce. It's Brandon Bussy.
Yeah, because he last year played for the Providence Bruins, who obviously are the Boston Bruins AHL affiliate. And I work in the AHL for the Florida Panthers affiliate, the Charlotte Checkers. And he was always there, playing, was around. Signed with Florida this year, was going to be a Checker, got picked up by the Canes, and the rest is history. And now look at him. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But that means the Calder Cup playoffs are starting as well, which is exciting. And the Checkers are in those. Charlotte sports, y'all. I can't.
The Hornets. How about them? How about the Hornets?
Like, come on, Hornets. Like, yes. The Hornets, the Panthers making it to the playoffs this year. Obviously, we have our minor league teams. The Checkers are always good. They made it to the Calder Cup finals last year. The Knights have a talented group, but like when the Panthers and the Hornets are rolling, like that is good stuff for the city. And I'm so glad that the Panthers made it to the playoffs. The Hornets being good, electric. Like it's just, I had to post the picture of me and Con yesterday on my story.
That was awesome.
I interviewed him last year. I've actually interviewed like probably 4 or 5 Hornets players just throughout my time. And he was so nice, like such a chill guy. And at the time of us doing the interview, we didn't realize the kind of season he was going to have. And now it's like crazy to see what he's done. So I'm really happy. Of course, they have another big game coming up on Friday, but it was really electric for the city. And I'm really excited for Charlotte because we've waited a long time. We have gone through some really strenuous times as a city from a sports standpoint with the Panthers and the Hornets. So it's good to see that they are finally on the up and up and giving the city something to root for.
No, totally. I'm sure a lot of Gamecock fans in here. I'm guessing a lot of them are probably Panther fans. And honestly, I think I read it, and Hornets fans too. I think I read it yesterday. It would be the first time ever that all 3 North Carolina teams would make the playoffs. Like if in the same year, like if the Hornets, because the Hornets are technically not in the playoffs. Like,
but like, I feel like we have to count it. Like,
I don't know. The NBA doesn't make it seem like it's the playoffs. Now, if they win Friday, they're in the playoffs. So there you go. But yeah, that's it's going to be really interesting to watch. I caught a little bit of it yesterday while at baseball. It really seemed like it was a great crowd. First the largest crowd ever at the Spectrum Center.
I was there like a week ago for a game they played the Suns, and it was awesome. There were so many people there. It was great. But yeah, I hope that happens. I hope that they win Friday. So big Hornets fan over here. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the Tourist Championship is coming up here soon too. Charlotte's just popping off. We're going to have a big golf tournament. Like it's been elite. I loved watching the Masters. It's still my dream to go to the Masters. So someone make it happen, please.
No. Rory won.
Yeah, Rory won again. So that was, towards the stretch there, I wasn't sure. But how about like Justin Rose makes me so sad.
It's terrible.
Justin Rose away from the Masters. Like he's such a nice guy. Like he is just a class act. Oh, before we go, let's do our Masters Champions dinner. I was actually talking with some about this the other day. So
I love this
Masters starters, entree, side, dessert, and let's go drink. Like let's do like a signature cocktail type vibe.
Oh, I don't know about a cocktail. I could probably, yeah.
Whatever.
I do. Yeah, something. All right, starter. I'm a big buffalo chicken dip guy. I will do buffalo chicken dip as the starter. The main entree, I feel like you really cannot go wrong. I saw Rory did elk sliders, and honestly, I really want to try that. That sounds like so good. And I saw someone make a copycat of it on TikTok, so I'm like, maybe I'll make that someday. I'm gonna go with like a nice strip steak. I think a nice like filet mignon strip steak sort of thing. I think that could be good with a side of, I don't know how you pronounce it, the au gratin.
Oh yeah, potatoes au gratin.
Yeah, the au gratin potatoes. I think that could be really good. And then you got to have a green in there. I would say probably asparagus. Actually, no. I take that back. Cream spinach, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dessert. Oh, I love my dessert. I really don't know. I would probably go, honestly, I had a really good piece of like chocolate cake the other day that we got for free because of the engagement. So I would say that. And then as far as a cocktail goes, I really like rum. I think rum's pretty good. So you give me like a fruity tropical kind of drink, you win me over. So something along those lines. What about you?
All right, so for my starter, I need like some really good bread with like olive oil, balsamic, some spices. Like give me like really good bread. And then I am a big fan of like a starter salad too. So I would want for everyone to have like a salad or a Caesar salad, like something along those lines. So just really like basic for the start. Also, I love it when they give you like the bread with like the whipped butter. So I need like the olive oil dip and then like the whipped butter with sea salt. Really basic on that. Surf and turf for the entree. So some shrimp and some steak. Like, let's get after it. And then I agree with the cream spinach. I'm a big Brussels sprouts fan. Lobster mac and cheese would no doubt be on there for me. I love mac and cheese. Obviously, I love seafood, hence the surf and turf. So that would be a side as well. And then maybe like throw in some whipped potatoes. Like I love a little mashed potato moment. So get those in there. For my dessert, a cookie skillet like the one you would get at Chili's.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Vanilla ice cream, fire, but they have to be served in the skillet. Okay, like that is the requirement. Served in a skillet.
Oh man,
a ton of vanilla ice cream on top, because ice cream is my favorite thing. And then for my signature cocktail, this is easy. Espresso martini. Anyone that knows me knows I'm getting an espresso martini if I'm out. If I'm at dinner, if I'm going to, the bar or whatever, I am getting an espresso martini. That is my Masters Championship dinner.
That's a hell of a dinner. That sounds so good right now.
I'm starving now. So yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll just make that for myself at some point and be like, you don't have to be a champion to get this. You'll get it. But yeah, let us know down below what y'all would do. I'm curious. Our players did it, and they did a pretty good job. I think all of them picked steak. I feel like steak is
shrimp and grits.
That sounds good.
Melting chocolate cake. Grilled shrimp. Oh man, I agree with you though. Surf and turf could be really good.
Surf and turf. That was in my head the whole time. I'm like, yeah, because you got to do steak. Like if I'm going to do this, going all out. Oh, the only other thing that maybe to stay on trend with the seafood for a starter, I would do some sort of like roll, like a spicy tuna roll or something, like sushi. I love sushi. So maybe that would be part of my starters. The world is my oyster. I just won the Masters. I can do whatever I want.
One thing I did not realize until I think Rory mentioned it the other day. I don't know how I didn't realize this. You have to pay out of pocket for this entire thing. Like I thought maybe like what?
I didn't know that. I thought that they paid for it. What?
Oh yeah, like I thought like, oh yeah, the Masters has like the top chefs there, so they're gonna cook whatever your heart desires. That's what I thought it was. But no, you have to pay out of pocket for this entire thing. Not to mention all the wine and stuff. Like this thing could easily be 5 to 6 figures for dinner. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, easily. That's an expensive dinner. That's actually a bit shocking to find out that they don't.
I know, it's crazy. So
that is crazy. Okay, I take it back. McDonald's. I'm kidding.
I think McDonald's would still even be expensive for like having like 30. I don't know how many people are there. But I mean, my God.
Winning the Masters, money is no object. So,
I know. Yeah. Holy man.
Just take the money. Just sign another brand deal or something. I don't know. Use your NIL.
Oh
The
man.
winner does get a reward. They get a lot of money. They get a heck of a lot of money, and they
Oh
get
yeah. Corey
endorsements,
made
brand deals. And I'm sure like the night that they win, yeah, I'm sure they get dinner comped and people are buying all their drinks. Like the night that they win, they're not paying for anything. It's the next year that they have this dinner where the champion of the previous year, so this year it was Rory, next year it will be Rory again, gets to come in, and like early on in the week during the practice rounds, they have this dinner that all the prior champions also go to. So it's an exclusive club.
and
But
he
yeah.
got a green jacket. So
But get the influencers out of Augusta. Okay, I've seen enough.
yeah.
I'm the biggest queen of the phone. I love my phone so much. It's constantly around me, but I love that there are no phones at the Masters. And I've been seeing so many like influencers bring their phones out. It just makes me so upset. So anyways, that's my soapbox today. But I really do have to go, everyone, because I have to go do something for hockey. So y'all are the best. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Jack, congratulations. Jack and Caroline, they're engaged. And I think every week now on the show, I'll have to ask you at least a question or two for like a wedding date. We'll do like a what's up with the wedding segment.
Of
and
course.
We'll just like check in and see what's going on in your world with the wedding. So congrats. Very happy for you. And thank you so much for sharing all the details of that with us. That was great. And thank you everyone for tuning into the show. We appreciate all of you. You're awesome. We hope you have a great rest of your week. So for Jack Veltri, I am Kendall Smith. This has been GC Live here on Gamecock Central. Let us know your champions dinners down below, and we'll see y'all soon.